Hey, what's up, y'all, and welcome to another edition of CMJ World Vlogs. I am your host, August C. Jones. And so, on this particular episode, I'm going to be talking about two things. Two things is all revolving around WWE. I was going to make this two separate videos, but I'm going to try and see if I can fit this into one. So, the first thing that I'm going to talk about is the whole thing revolving around Roman Reigns and the Bloodline and then the championship belt is all going to be intermingled within one. And so this past Friday we got the unveiling of the new title that Roman Reigns is going to be carrying around, which I'm thinking that it's a amalgamation of the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship, which is, I believe, is still going to be called the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. And so I was going to put out a video before SmackDown even came on, and I was going to give my thoughts talking about what they need to do, because I feel like essentially that they fucked up with the whole thing of putting both titles on him and then not having him lose at WrestleMania to where they can split the titles, then creating a whole brand new title. It's crazy. So I was trying to figure out, and I was wondering what they were going to do, because if you combine the titles, and my original thought was getting rid of the Universal title altogether and just keeping the WWE Championship. Simple as that. But when you look at it, his reign is not with the WWE Championship. His reign is with the Universal Championship. Oh, bless me. And so, if they got rid of the Universal Championship, the 1,000 days would have been all for nothing. Them keeping the title on him past WrestleMania and all that stuff would have just been all for nothing. So, just having that in mind, it just got me thinking, like, they should not have kept the title on him. That way they could have split it. But it's whatever. And so now it's kind of like I had the other kind of like mind that, if they combine them together, what lineage is it going to be? And I was thinking, like, it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense that if they combine them and like both lineages are going to work for them. Now, they probably already came out and said today is Saturday, so they got unveiled yesterday. So they probably already came out and said somewhere that they're going to follow both lineages or this lineage or whatever. But they're going to have to follow the Universal Championship lineage. They're going to have to combine both of them, because on one hand, you got a lineage that works for the current champion, and then the other lineage spans as far back as 60 years. So I feel like the one that spans back that many years is more important than the 1,000 days that you've given this current wrestler. And so now we have a championship that, more than likely going to not only combine the championships, but combine the lineage. Fine, dandy, cool. Though, let me talk about the title. This was their chance to redesign the championship to make it look awesome. And I've said it before, when it comes to like these big corporations, these big companies, these multi-million, billion-dollar companies, they have more than enough money to sit down and pay people, to hire people to design incredible, amazing, phenomenal looking belts and just go from there. And so to know that you have that at your fingertips, the resources to do that, but instead to get a championship that looks like the new unveiling championship, the new championship that they unveiled for Roman Reigns, is so mind-boggling. Because I came out and I said that when it comes to the World Heavyweight Championship title and how it looks, I wasn't overall impressed. Like, I wasn't like just in shock and awe, because I feel like they probably could have did a little bit better. But when you combine both those championships next to each other, I would choose the World Heavyweight Championship over this new undisputed WWE Universal Championship. That's a mouthful. It really is a mouthful. I would choose Steph's title over Roman's title. And it's so nuts that the same probably the people that developed that title couldn't develop this new title. And I get, like, they're gonna want the big WWE logo on the title, which is great, cool, whatever, keep it, but do something different with the design. It's just, this is their chance to do something different, to make it look incredible, and they just dropped the ball. Like it looks, in a sense, it looks ugly. It looks like it needed more to it. Like, they could have did something totally different, but I don't know. It's just, it's nuts with what WWE is doing right now when it comes to that. And it's like I said, I wouldn't have put the title on him. I wouldn't have put both titles on him because they wrote themselves in the thing. And I believe that it's happened before where a person held two titles and had matches where they just defended one title. And that's what they could have did. Before making a new title, they could have split the titles. They could have had it to where Roman was in a match where he didn't have to be pinned, but he still could have lost his title. That way you could have still kept it where it's like he hasn't been pinned or submitted, because that's what it's all about. It's not all about him being on him losing a match, because if that's what it was, he would have won the match with Solo Sikoa over Owens and Zayn for the tag team championships, or he would have won other matches that he was in where he was like part of a team that he didn't get pinned, but you know, he still was the part of the losing team. Like, if that was the case, he would have won all the matches. Like, his team would have won, whether it was him pinning or somebody else pinning. But it's all revolving around him not getting pinned, him not being submitted. And that's what it's all about. So you literally could have had him in a ladder match with multiple other people. Even if it was a ladder match where it was just him and somebody else ended up winning. You know, it could have been, he still wasn't submitted. He still didn't have his he didn't have his shoulders pinned to the ground. But if you didn't want to have it a one-on-one loss, you could have had it to where it's like a triple threat ladder match, or a triple threat match, or a fatal four-way where he didn't have to be pinned in order to lose that particular title. And you could have had the WWE Championship on the line, and he would have lost that, still keeping his title, his reign, his undisputed reign intact. And so it's different ways they could have gone, and just the route that WWE has gone with the titles, it makes no sense. It just, they wrote themselves in the corner that they were easily able to write themselves out, but they just didn't for some reason. And it's just, I don't know. It's crazy. But getting beyond that, they need to end this, thing by like SummerSlam. By the way it looks, they might extend it past SummerSlam all the way into WrestleMania next year, which I hope they don't. But that's what it's seeming like doing. That's what it's seeming like they're doing, with probably Cody gonna be, gonna be facing Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, and if they're doing that, there's really nobody else that they're hyping up to take the titles off of him besides a Cody. And it's just like, because I know Jimmy isn't about to do it, Jay isn't about to do it, so I don't know, like, they really need to end it before. I mean, as of right now, it's kind of feeling like it's overstayed its welcome, the storyline of the Bloodline. It feels like they need to come to a astonishing conclusion, because if they don't, then it's going to be like a great storyline with a horrible finish. And they need to end it. They need to find a way to get Cody in that on the path back to Roman, and him take the titles off of him. They're already showing the deterioration of the Bloodline with Jimmy out, and more than likely Jay is not going to be too far behind, and then from then on, Solo is going to be out, and it's going to be Roman all alone with the Rise Man, who can only do so much. And they need to kind of like figure out how they're going to do this perfectly, because You have a great storyline, one of the greatest storylines that has been put on TV from any company within the past however long, like 10, 20, 50, whatever, how many years. And you need to just do it right. You already kind of like extended it past WrestleMania where it should have ended. Well, I feel like it should have ended. And now it's like, where can you take it? What else can you do that's going to help it reach its destination, like, in the best way possible? So I don't know. I'm going to see. I'm going to see where they're going to take it. As far as what happened on Friday night, yeah, I mean, it's a twist in the story, because we would have thought that Jay would have been the one to challenge Roman, because that's in a sense where it all started. And it kind of seemed like that's where it was going with, like, thing that happened with, like, Sammy. And it just kind of seemed like Jay was going to be the one that confront him, and just to show the twist that Jimmy was actually the one to challenge Roman, to stand up to him, to muff him in the face, and be the one to get kicked out for it. It's like, it's a twist, but just because you throw a twist doesn't mean that, it's going to be great. It's like they need to do something to add more to it. They really do. Because right now, you don't have opponents for Roman, and it's just like, where are you going with this? Where are you going with this? So, I don't know. It's like, as more develops, I'm probably going to keep talking about it or whatnot, but as of right now, it's a story that's happening. It's a story that, I don't know. Let's just wait to see what happens further. But with that said, let's jump into the next thing, and it has to do with wrestling. It has to do with Cody. And I'm going to try to diversify the things that I talk about with this, because I don't want to keep talking about Cody. I don't want to keep talking about Roman and the Bloodline. I want to talk about other things. So, but I'm going to talk about the whole Cody situation with Brock Lesnar. Now, like I said before, I get the reason, this is a way to take Cody away from the Bloodline and keep him occupied, maybe until they put him back on the path back to Roman, which I hope that's the plan. I hope that's the plan, and I hope he definitely takes it. But my issue is the fact that the broken arm of Cody given to him by Brock Lesnar, and it's like, I know realistically he wouldn't be wrestling. He definitely wouldn't be wrestling. But at least, like, for storyline purposes, make it feel more realistic. Make it be to the point where, yes, his arm is hindering him. Because when you look at the match that he had at it wasn't Backlash. What was the last one that we had? At Saudi Arabia, Night of Champions. The match that he had with Brock. There's no way in hell, if your arm is broken, you're about to be sitting here doing moves like that. Like, no way in hell. I don't care if you Brock Lesnar. If you just the toughest man on earth, there's no way in hell you about to be able to do moves without reacting in a certain type of way. And that's what Cody should have been doing. It's certain things that he should have been doing and certain things that he shouldn't have been doing. This match should have been squashed. Should have been squashed. And I said it in my review. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. But it should have been a squash. It shouldn't have been no way that... I feel like he should have had some fight to him, but it shouldn't have been that way. Like, Cody should have tapped out. And I get they trying to keep him strong, but I mean, you're still keeping him strong even if he tapped out. This guy has a broken arm, and Brock Lesnar is putting him in a Kimura lock. Literally, like, you should be tapping out. It shouldn't be no point to where it's like, oh yeah, he passed out. He doing the John Cena thing. Like, no. Your arm is broken. There's no way in hell that you should have held on as long. Like, I don't give a fuck. And Cody is not a big dude. He's not a Brock Lesnar size. I could see Brock Lesnar probably doing that, or maybe even Roman Reigns, or maybe somebody that you can legitimately look at and be like, yo, this person will probably hold on longer. But no, Cody, no. And it wouldn't have done anything to his character, because he went into the match with his arm broken, going against Brock Lesnar. Nonetheless, if it was somebody like smaller, maybe his size or whatever, I can understand it. But going against Brock Lesnar, like, nah, ain't no way you should have went up in there and came out and been able to come out Monday night with the brace on and everything else and been able to talk. Like, no. At least if you're going to say that he has a broken arm, at least make it realistic. Have him out for a couple weeks and then have him come back. Like, he should be clutching his arm like, you know, it should have been like damaged more. If you already had a broken arm, going to a match with Brock Lesnar where he put more pressure and he put you in a lock twice. Like, your arm, you should not be coming out Monday. Like, you should be in the hospital, in the local medical facility, nursing your arm. You should not be coming out 2 days later talking to the live crowd about your arm and that he didn't make you tap. Like, no. It's just it's unrealistic. And in times where people would talk about how unrealistic wrestling is, it's like, it's hard to defend it when you do shit like this. You can still make him look strong by having him tap out because it's understandable. You can still make him look strong coming out a couple weeks later because he needed to heal up. Because we understand, even in storyline, that, you know, if you have a broken arm, that if you were put in the position that he was against a person like Brock Lesnar, that you're not about to be fine. You're not. I don't care how strong you are, how big you are, you're not about to be fine. So it bugs me. Like, if they would have said something that he had a strain on his arm or something like that, then okay, cool, I can understand it. But he still should come out holding his arm like he's still hurting. Like, he's like, you know, it just, I don't know, man. It just kind of pisses me off just looking at that, and it's so weird. But hopefully this storyline gets better, because it's starting to more likely feel just like it was just, there's no reason behind it. They still haven't gave a direct reason as to why he came out and he turned his back on Cody and like F5'd him, and you know, they still haven't came out with a legitimate reason. So hopefully they can come out with a reason, better late than never, and make it a better storyline. But as of right now, it's just certain things that, you know, it's I don't know, like, it's not as big of a storyline or as big of a story that I could just be like, yeah, I'm behind it 100%. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, they needed to do this a little bit better. So hopefully this ends better, but I mean, it is what it is. But that was just one thing that just bugged me about the whole Cody Rhodes situation and what they're doing with his character and Brock Lesnar and that storyline, the little rivalry that they got going on with them. So I don't know, but in any case, that ends my my talk about the, you know, everything about the Bloodline and the new belt and Cody and Brock and everything else. So I hope you guys liked it. Honestly, if you made it this far, go ahead, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not, and hit the notification bell for more videos like this, and I will catch you guys next time. So peace out, stay safe, and you know, get a better belt than what Roman has.